Welcome to the Stoic Responder Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Healy. As a special agent who spent more than 15 years conducting large-scale fraud, money laundering, and public corruption investigations, Stoic philosophy provided a mindset edge that became the foundation of my professional success. My mission today is to share those same ancient mindset lessons with you so that you can turn obstacles into opportunities and adversity into advantage. Time to muster up. Folks, welcome back to the Stoic Responder Podcast. This is episode 58. What is your vision? Folks, before I dive into the episode, let me remind you of our favorite 501c3 organization that supports law enforcement. That is the Overwatch Collective. The Overwatch Collective is a nonprofit and podcast funding therapy sessions and supporting mental health initiatives for our first responders, veterans, and their families. Their motto is one more is one less, and I take that to heart. One more individual we can provide services to is one less statistic. Be sure to check them out over at theoverwatchcollective.com. Pick up some sweet gear, make a donation, help these guys provide therapy services to other law enforcement officers that need them. Even if you don't, you can help somebody else who might. Now, I want to remind y'all, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and if you know somebody, a colleague, a friend, somebody who's struggling, say something, do something. There's 3 simple steps that all of us can do to act. Number 1 is to ask questions. We can ask questions. If somebody is exhibiting behavior that makes us nervous, that makes us scared, that makes us worried that they might be contemplating suicide, ask them directly. Be direct with them. Number 2 is care. That's the C in ACT. Ask, then care. Care meaning listen, actively listen. Be a shoulder for them. Be a person who is willing to listen and to hear them out. Let them express themselves. Don't walk away because it's awkward or uncomfortable. Ask and then care. And number 3, the T in ACT is take action. You can reach out to your agency's ESP or whatever it's called in your agency, the EAP, the Employee Assistance Program. If you have one, you can reach out to a place like the Overwatch Collective. You can reach out to resources like my friend Adam Davis, who runs the Live Unconquered Foundation. You can reach out to a bunch of different organizations. The key is that you take action. And the simplest and easiest way to take action and get some resources is to dial 988. Suicide Prevention Hotline can help you get some of those resources. So if you or somebody you know in this profession is having those dark thoughts, is contemplating suicide, those are 3 steps that you can take to help somebody else out today. And let me tell you this, if you are somebody who doesn't have anyone to reach out to, doesn't have anyone to talk to, doesn't have anyone to share this with, and you need help, reach out to me. Reach out to me directly via email. Message me on Instagram, message me on YouTube, wherever you're getting this, I will get the message and I will connect you with resources. I will listen. So, folks, getting into the episode, let me start you out with a quote from Epictetus. First, say to yourself, what would you be? And then do what you have to do. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I talked about this a little bit earlier this week or last week, I guess, on Instagram. I'm doing a series over there at my page at team_Healy. At team_Healy. You can find me over there, and I've been doing 30 days. I've just been going on and giving a quick 15 to 20 seconds about a Stoic quote that can help you gain greater resilience. I've been doing it for 30 straight days. And so if you want a little bit more of this, go find me at team_Healy on Instagram, and you can check that out there. I talked about this quote, but let me get a little bit deeper into this quote on today's episode. So as I said, the title of the episode is What is Your Vision? Well, you ever heard of a vision board? I know this is big in the entrepreneurial community that my wife is in. I know this is something that a lot of people that I have worked with in masterminds or talked to or worked with in the private sector truly believe in. And it can be a little bit of a woo-woo type thing, the idea of a vision board, but not entirely. We're going to break that down a little bit here. So a vision board, for those that don't know, it's usually a collage of images that represents goals and dreams that you have. It can include cutout pictures from magazines, words that might help inspire you to manifest your dreams and get where you want to go, And the primary goal of one of these vision boards is to help the individual who makes it gain self-awareness and self-reflection on what is important to them. So a lot of entrepreneurs, as I said, a lot of business mentors swear by this concept as a means to inspire growth. And I've actually seen this in a law enforcement capacity. I ran a search warrant on a scammer. She's doing, I forget, like 10 years right now. She's in jail now, so I can talk about this because the case is over. But we ran a search warrant, and she had a vision board on her wall. And the vision board was reflective of the stuff that she was doing. She was, running it was basically a government impersonation scam. She was a runner. She was cashing out money from this scam. She was working with this Indian call center, and she was taking a good amount of cash off the top. And her vision board reflected that she wanted to work harder to achieve X, Y, and Z by doing these things. And, it didn't work out well for us because my vision board included arresting her. But the concept was right there. And I mean, we took pictures of it. It was great evidence that, that this is her vision board and this is what she did. But a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people swear by this concept as a means to inspire growth, as a means to remind yourself on a daily basis. They post these things on their mirror. They post these things in a place like their refrigerator where they will see it daily as a means to inspire growth. I know people who, when they are in a weight loss phase, people who are bodybuilders, people who are going through a cut, will take a picture of, somebody with, six-pack abs. They'll stick it on their fridge as a reminder before they open that door of what they want and what is behind that door that might prevent them from getting it. So these things can be inspirational to us, right? On the job, your vision board might be a tactical plan. You might use a tactical plan to identify the target of an operation, to plan for the deployment of the people and the assets that you need. And just like a vision board, your tactical plan is going to help you gain perspective. It's going to help you gain operational awareness. It's going to help you keep your eyes on the target. It's going to help you, execute the mission effectively. And the tools are very different, but the concept is largely the same. The idea is to visualize and then execute. You see, it's not enough to merely contemplate or speak about the person that you aspire to be. What Epictetus is telling us here is that you first have to define what you would be, and then you have to recognize and understand what it takes to be that person. Now, that sounds simple, but most people, they stop at that first part. They say what they want to be, and then they expect by saying it out loud, I want to be this, that suddenly they will become that. And it never happens, right? Because as the saying goes, you can want in one hand and you can crap in the other. And I think you're going to see which one fills up first. So it's not merely enough to contemplate or speak about the person you aspire to be. You truly have to manifest that. You truly have to engage. It has to be acta non verba, as the Stoics say, actions, not words. And those actions have to be consistent with your aspirations. So by stating what you want and what you would be and then acting accordingly, that's the only way you can take ownership of your choices. It's the only way you can acknowledge your agency in shaping your own life, not manifesting it to somebody else, but putting it in front of you and then taking concrete steps to affect it. It's called personal accountability. It's a call to self-directed change, right? And that is what Epictetus is telling us. Now, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but I did write a book about basically this entire quote, this entire concept. The book is called Indispensable, A Tactical Plan for the Modern Man. There's links available in the show notes. Depending on where you're listening to this, you should be able to find the links in the show notes. You can find the links on my Instagram page, but you can find this on Amazon. And it's a short read. It's an easy read. But what I did was I took my vision board, my tactical plan that I use to execute search warrants, that I use to execute arrest warrants, that I use to do extraditions, that I used to do anything over the course of a 15-year law enforcement career. I used a tactical plan. I applied that same concept, that same tactical plan concept of identifying your where you want to go, what you want to do, the who's, the where, the what's, the why, the contingencies that go into it, the debrief that you do afterwards. I took all of those steps, all of those tactical planning steps, and I used them to accomplish some great things in my life, to race Ironman triathlons, to race ultramarathons, to adopt 2 children from overseas, to help my wife grow and scale businesses, to write the books that I write, to go out and do the things that I do to make a living now. You can take that same sort of concept and turn it into your own vision board. So if that's something that would help you, feel free to reach out to me. I can get you a copy of it. I can shoot you a link, or you can go find it on your own. But the idea here, again, and we're wrapping up here, the idea here is to ask yourself, exactly what you would be. And then, like you would on a vision board, like you would with a tactical plan, lay out the steps it takes to get there. It's not enough to say, I want to be an Ironman. You have to train to become one. It's not enough to say, I want to run a marathon. You have to train to do one. You have to lay it out. And the best way to start that process is to ask yourself 2 questions. So take out your journal, take out your pen, write this down. What would I be? That's question 1. And what do I have to do? That's question 2. Everything begins from that perspective. We don't go out on a road trip. We don't try to drive off to Disney World without plugging it into our GPS. You got to give yourself that little personal GPS. So whether it's a vision board, a tactical plan, or following the plan I put in my book, ask yourself those 2 questions. And that's how you begin to execute. Folks, I got 3 more episodes for you this week. I had told you maybe a bonus episode last week. I didn't get around to it. I'm still working out the details on that because I have had some people reach out to me about what would the Stoics think about what's going on in modern politics. And I'm working on that. I don't really know, but I'm working on it. So you may get a bonus episode this week. But until tomorrow, folks, there's a couple of ways that you can support this podcast if you would like to. Number 1, you can pick up a copy of either of my books, In Valor, 365 Stoic Meditations for First Responders, or Indispensable, a tactical plan for the modern man. Both of them are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books. They're available on Kindle and Nook for instant download right now, or you can get the paperback edition available. Or if you want a signed copy, go ahead and shoot me a message, reach out to me, and I can make that happen as well. It's a great way to practice the philosophy daily. It's a great way to get some quotes, some contextualization. They're directly relatable to your job, as well as some daily journal prompts like the one I just gave you that can give you some action items to help you integrate these lessons. Number 2, you can subscribe to the Stoic Responder podcast on Substack for free. You can get these episodes directly into your email, as well as my weekly newsletter with Stoic leadership and personal development tips. And finally, you can like, share, and subscribe so that others can learn about what we're doing here. Until next time, folks, thanks so much. You are How to Roll. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, like, rate, and share this podcast so that we can spread the benefits of Stoicism to other first responders. It will only take you a few moments, but it can help us tremendously. Until next time, How to Roll.